The Adventures of Batman and Robin. I love this game. It was it's a side-scrolling like shooter basically. It's not a beat 'em up, even though it's Batman. You throw batarangs as like your weapon, and you just constantly throw them as if it's a gun, as if it's like Contra, you know. So that's why I call it a shooter, even though it's not really guns. It's really like 1942 and all those flying games, but on foot, with awesome graphics and awesome music. I love the music in this game. You upgrade your weapon just like you would like all those flying games like 1942 and stuff. You'll get one version of a gun that just shoots directly, and then if you get that icon again, it'll split 3 directions. If you get that icon again, it'll split 5 directions. If you get that icon again, it'll switch 5 directions but have thicker bullets. So eventually you're spraying the whole screen. That's how this works. Like you get a batarang, you get that icon again, it throws 2 batarangs. You get that icon again, it throws 3 batarangs. You get that icon again, it shows 1 huge batarang with 2 smaller batarangs. You get that icon again, it shoots 3 huge batarangs. So you upgrade your weapon, and you want to upgrade the same color. If you get green, it's the boa, or bolo or something, which throws like this tambourine type, tambourine type thing. Tambourine? That's not the right word. Tambourine's on a drum set. Baton type thing. And then if you get an upgrade to it, the baton's bigger. The baton glows more green, which does more damage. It's like the strongest weapon. So you want to get the same version of each weapon to upgrade, and then just beat the shit out of everything in. Downside of that is if you get hella far and then die, you start out with the 1 shitty battery again, and it's hard as fuck when everything's coming at you and you're just throwing throwing one little stupid fucking battering, and you just want to get the upgrades for it so bad because you're just getting molested. Then you lose all your eyes, lose all your titties, and what are you gonna do? But really good, and the graphics are crazy in this, like pseudo 3D graphics, like really good. There's a level where you're flying in like a bat hang glider, looking down at the city, and it just looks real like 3D realistic for Sega Genesis. Like when you look down, you can see the cars driving on the streets and stuff. Krusty Super Funhouse. It's a really good game. It's Lemmings-esque. It's like a puzzle game. You try to figure out how to get all the rats to the certain Simpson character that's going to murder them. There's rats and they just walk. And then when you're Krusty, you can place blocks to get them to climb higher, fall lower, or block them from this direction so they'll go this direction. And it's a way to get them from point A to point B to kill them. And point B is, for the first couple levels, it's like Bart. And he's got this machine that the rats go into, and then they get squashed with the boxing glove. And then the next couple levels, it's like Homer, and he's got this machine that the rats go through, and then he presses a button and they get zapped. And you're just trying to exterminate all the rats. And the person you play as is Krusty, and he's the one who like sets all these blocks to try to Lemmings style get them to follow him, and eventually to their demise. And it's really good puzzle trap. It gets really intricate, really hard, and you really got to wrap your brain around it to figure out how to get all these rats. Alright, that's it for the 2 drawers. Yeah, this is taking a long time. And we got some stacks of boxed video games here. This is going to be the last little section. The original Prince of Persia. It's pretty good. If you haven't played it, everyone's probably played it. It's the original Prince of Persia. It came out on the PC is when I played it when I was a kid. It's really hard though. you have to be right on with all your jumping and stuff. Cyberball, gotta be honest, I've never played it yet. I've had it for a long time though. It's a football game with robots. Soldier of Fortune, came with a eBay lot. I think the one that I got with my Nomad. It's a top-down shooter, kind of like Rambo 3 if you've ever played that. And you can upgrade your weapons like between levels and stuff. You buy upgrades, and it's pretty good. Shadowrun. This is one of the deepest RPGs in the 16-bit era, from what I've read and from what I've experienced. Although it's too effing deep for me. Like I try to get into it, but you gotta grind so much at the beginning. But it's Oblivion style open. Like you do whatever you want. I don't know. I didn't know something like this existed. I only found out about it because it came with my Sega Nomad, and I read a lot about it. And I read the manual it came with, and I learned a lot trying to play this game. But there's tons to learn and tons to do, and if you're really into that and you have the time, probably one of the best gaming experiences, RPG experiences you can have on Sega. Desert Strike, awesome shoot things with a helicopter game. They made a lot of these. Urban Strike and Jungle Strike being the other ones, probably some more. All basically the same game, but in different settings. One's in an urban setting, one in a jungle setting, one in a desert setting. World Series Baseball, made by Sega. It's a pretty good game. I like baseball games. I don't know if I like them better than Madden, but baseball games were always fun to play when I was a kid. Guy on Super Nintendo across the street had a couple of them. Wow. If you don't know what this is, you're retarded. Sonic 1, 2, and 3. Epic. Streets of Rage 2. The sequel, part of the definitive beat 'em up. I mentioned earlier was Streets of Rage 1. This is part 2. The best one. So this is the definitive beat 'em up. Best of the Streets of Rage series. If you want to know what a beat 'em up is, this is what it is. This is the beat 'em up. Spider-Man! One of my favorite games as a kid. Probably one of the worst Spider-Man games, though, in retrospect, now that I look at it now. But it's still my favorite game. Like, even though I recognize the bad, it has pretty bad collision detection. The graphics are okay. But there's tons of bad guys in this. There's so many people from the Spider-Man universe. Shocker, Owl, Beetle, Spider Slayer, Alistair Smythe, Jack-O-Lantern. You can call them the Fantastic Four in this. They jump in, kind of help you. Mr. Fantastic will give you some power-ups. Thing will come in and stomp the ground and kill all the enemies on screen. Oh God, it's such a good game. So many memories with this game. This is one of the games, just like X-Men 2, I constantly play it again and again, and I would narrate like my own storylines. It's what got me into Marvel. Fuck you. Fuck you, this is awesome. Another game called Spider-Man on Sega. This one I think is actually called Spider-Man vs. Kingpin, even though the title on the box only says Spider-Man, but the title screen says Spider-Man vs. Kingpin. Graphics are a lot shittier, but it's a better Spider-Man game, gameplay-wise. Kingpin's the last boss. He's pretty hard. Lots of cool characters in this. Hobgoblin's in it. Venom's in it again. Sandman. Electro. Lots of cool bad guys in this. Really cool game as well. Maximum Carnage, one of the best Spider-Man games. Doesn't really feel like Spider-Man, though. You don't really feel like Spider-Man playing it. You feel like Jimmy or Billy from Double Dragon, because it is a beat-em-up. So it's just a really good beat-em-up with Spider-Man characters, based on Maximum Carnage comics miniseries from the 90s, where Carnage was kind of taking over New York. You call on people to help you out in this. Captain America's in it. Deathlock's in it. Ghost Rider. Is Ghost Rider in it? No, I think Ghost Rider's in the sequel for it. Separation Anxiety. You can call Ghost Rider. Iron Fist, Silver Sable, Carrion. I'm looking at the pictures on the back right now. Let's see, Deathlock. Black Cat jumps in and helps you. Demo Goblin. Oh, he's awesome. He's a good guy in this. Lots of cool people. Separation Anxiety was kind of its sequel. Also based on Spider-Man comic books. Kind of what happens to the symbiote afterward. Like they're doing tests on it, so there's a couple other symbiotes that Spider-Man and Venom have to team up with again to fight. This one you can play 2 players simultaneously. I think the graphics took a hit on that because you had multiple players on screen. You can tell the graphics aren't as good, even though it's a sequel. But you can play 2 people at the same time in this. Beat 'em up. Spider-Man, pretty awesome. Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. I think this is a better game on Super Nintendo, if I remember correctly, because I got this game kind of excited, and it was a pretty shitty fighting game, pretty subpar. But it's got turtles in it. I think it's based on the Turtles comic book, because there's tons of people in this game you don't know who the fuck they are. I think they got to be from the Turtles comic book.